Very good afternoon, Doctor. Welcome to the show. When we talk about good news for motorists, how good really are these news?
It's very welcome. Many South Africans are really battling with the rising cost of living, and businesses are also struggling with the rising cost of doing business. Unfortunately, whilst we are happy for petrol users, and I'm one of the petrol users, so I'm really ecstatic that I'm going to be paying at least 17 rands less from Wednesday. However, the slight increase of 12 cents per litre and 18 cents per litre for diesel users is worrying because, as I keep on saying, most of the goods that we use, including the food that we eat, are transported by diesel engine cars and tractors, etc. So it means that will add something to the inflation rate, especially food inflation rate, and yet we're happy to see it at the overall inflation is 6.3%. So sometimes, of course, sometimes others get happy and others are not happy. So we are happy for petrol users, but we are uncomfortable, but it was unavoidable for diesel users.
And of course, Professor, when we speak about the advantage that the consumer will experience tangibly with the rand in their pocket, this never really trickles down when there is a decrease, right? But we feel the price increase immediately when things go up. So food prices are not going down anytime soon. Yes?
Yeah, I knew that you're going to ask that one because I'm asked that question all the time. And I'll ask you one question, and all of the people who are your viewers. When the prices of goods go down at the supermarkets and elsewhere, do you go to your employer and say, okay, you can reduce my salary now? Don't answer me now. But what I'm telling you is that you have this whole issue about fixed overheads and variable overheads. So with salaries, they are not variable. They are just always on the way up, unlike the things like petrol and others. So it's when the prices go up, it's very difficult to pull them down. You can pull them down over a period of time, but you cannot do it immediately because they are already allocated elsewhere, and you can no longer take them away from those fixed costs, which are now new higher fixed costs. That is the reason why it's very difficult to bring the prices down, whereas it's much easier to push them up because you just push them up and then let the other people suffer the consequences.
Thanks for the clarity, Professor. Let's talk about now the average South African who has gone and spent a bit of money to buy a generator because of the load shedding saga that the country still finds itself in. How will they be impacted with these diesel prices that are going up?
It is going to affect them significantly because they're already struggling. And as I said, that you have this problem of diesel users for all the things we move, and even the people who are using generators. And when those people are paying more for the diesel, and we had an increase in the repo rate, and we are going to have another increase on the repo rate on the 20th of July as well. So this is going to impact significantly on those, both the private users and the business users. So it is unfortunate whilst we are happy as petrol users, but the economy will be complaining for all the diesel uses that we have, even for us who don't have diesel engine cars.
And before I let you go, Professor, beyond delaying filling up our tanks as petrol users before the decrease kicks in, what else can we do to take advantage of these news?
I think we must be very careful in the use of our cars and all the things which use petrol, because the petrol price is going down as it is now because the rand actually improved in June compared to May. And the main reason why it improved in June compared to May, you must remember that in May, we had that incident on the 12th of May when the American ambassador said many things which are negative about South Africa, and the rand did take a knock and weakened to about 19 rands 65 and even higher than that. So for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks thereafter, the rand against the dollar was very weak, and then it started improving over the past 2 weeks, and that is why we have benefited. But the rand has started weakening again against the US dollar. So the international Brent crude oil prices have already started going higher than 75 US dollars per barrel. So we may find ourselves back in the situation where in August, it is possible that we may have both petrol and diesel price increases. So let us celebrate, but with restraint.
Professor, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Always a pleasure chatting to you. That was economist Professor Bonke Dumisa saying, yes, celebrate that the price of petrol is going down, but don't celebrate too much because it will go up again in a not so distant future.